There's makeup. The makeup is simply an extension of a personality, and colors, clothing, makeup all express something. And getting up on stage was a chance to sort of live out the, sort of a scream therapy meets a rock and roll band version. I wanted to put together the band I never saw on stage. I wanted to be in a band that gave bang for the buck. I wanted to be in a band that didn't look like a bunch of guys who, should be in the library studying for their finals.
That is Gene Simmons, one of my heroes. And we're going to talk about what the digital asset guy and Gene Simmons have in common here. Here's a little bit of him about crypto.
How long have you been on this trade, the crypto trade?
Well, I was very lucky because Tyler Winklevoss was kind enough to take my call back at the beginning of the pandemic.
Wow.
And it was just sort of a quick educational, sort of, those notes that we used to have in school that gave us a shortcut. And I went in big. I put in a few million into Bitcoin when it was around 10,000.
Whoa.
I loved the ride up to 64,000 or so. And
all right, we're going to continue this after that intro. Enjoy. So I think it's kind of exciting that you have a brand new asset class. Welcome back. This is the Digital Asset Guy Crypto News Show. Thank you so much for tuning in. And this, as most of my long-timers know, this is I Trust Capital, the Digital Asset Guy's favorite place to buy, sell, and yes, hold cryptocurrency and precious metals in both an IRA or not in an IRA, in a premium custody account, which is a regular account where you only pay a 1% fee, and you get institutional grade custody and security. Same with the premium custody treasury, but that's for if you want to hold crypto on your balance sheet with an institution or an LLC, something like that. So yeah, that was Gene Simmons that you heard. That story fascinated me. As you might know, the Digital Asset Guy, I'm a musician. I started out being a jazz musician. Well, really, I started out being a classical piano player. I took lessons as a kid, and then I got into saxophone, really got into jazz. And, to be honest, my mother was a big fan of Kiss back in her day, and she would show me, Kiss on the TV and things. And to be honest, as a little kid, it really scared me. And I was like, that's really weird that mom's into this band, But when I grew up, I kind of learned more about it and what was behind the makeup and the mask and everything. And that's kind of what you heard in that first YouTube video where he said, we made the band that we didn't see, the band that we never saw. And that's kind of rings a bell with me and my content that I'm creating. I've gotten a lot of very interesting feedback on it. But here we go. This is the one without music since it's copyrighted on YouTube. Night Vision. My name's Digital Asset Guy. I'm a YouTube influencer.
Actually.
Well, I'll tell you after. What do you know about the Clarity Act in the Senate? I'm sorry. If I gave you $1,000, what would you invest in? I'm just doing random investment data.
Probably the new Tesla stock. If I just had $1,000 to do.
XRP. There's that, and then here's, we'll play one of my day interviews, just a little snippet. So here's me, DAG versus 2 gold bugs. Ladies, if I gave you $1,000 right now, what would you invest it in? We're doing research.
Gold.
Gold? Why?
Gold. Because gold only goes up. It's the best investment.
Well, I've got to argue with you. I mean, if a market was always going up, we would all just... So you can watch the rest of it on your own, but these things... Oh, here's one. I think I might do a Trump impression in this. Oh, wait. If I gave you $1,000, what would you invest it in right now?
I'd buy NVIDIA stock.
Okay. So anyway, but I've got some others where I do Trump impressions and things, and... the Digital Asset Guy After Dark, I haven't actually put out any actual episodes where you get to hear everything that goes on, but I've gotten some very mixed feedback from friends and family in my hometown, some very negative feedback. But you know what, people? I created the content that I did not see. Okay, as the Digital Asset Guy, Crypto's changed my life in all aspects. Friends, family, dating and relationships. It has flipped it upside down. You think dating's difficult? Try being a crypto enthusiast, educator, advocate. It's even more difficult. So one day I went on YouTube, just like I did here to find Gene Simmons, and I looked up, Crypto Bros dating advice, dating for crypto people, cryptocurrency, millionaire dating, all of this stuff. And you know what came up? Nothing. Nothing came up except crypto dating scams from like WhatsApp and these scams where it really has nothing to do with crypto, but they try to help the person. They say, send a text message and say, aren't you so-and-so picking me up from the airport? Oh, I must have the wrong number, but who are you? And blah, blah, blah. And all I got were stories about those stupid scams that really have nothing to do with crypto. They just target people who aren't educated on crypto security and things. But anyway, I looked for this content. I said, why is there not some guy out who's like a crypto bro who's showing what it's like to be out there in the field, like, trying to meet girls, but then also talk crypto? Because most people, they say, oh, digital asset guy, you're just mad because you can't get girls. Wrong. In the words of Donald Trump, wrong. That is not the problem. I have dated a lot of girls. I've dated some very beautiful girls. I've dated girls that were like the most attractive girl I've ever seen in my life in this one point. And then I turned her into my salsa dancing instructor, and then I turned her into my girlfriend. I ended up breaking up with her because it's a long story. I might do a video on it. But the point is, it's not that crypto bros can't get girls. It's that they can't find girls that they like, because if it's your livelihood and it's your passion and you've got somebody who knows nothing about it, they're not even willing to learn, and then maybe they even make fun of you. Some people are okay with that. The digital asset guy is not. You're going to respect what I do if you're going to be my lady. And that's just how it's going to go. So anyway, I made the content that I didn't see. I was like, what if a guy was out like kind of doing pickup, but also trying to talk to people about crypto? And that would just be interesting, because I know the answers would be crazy and mostly negative. And then it would be cool if he had some positive reactions. I wonder why nobody's doing that. And so I had the idea, and then all it took was a little push from one of my best friends, who is a real go-getter and a real crazy person in a good way. And he kind of gave me that push to do this. But if you think about the best performers in history, they are good performers, but sometimes they're filling a void that they haven't seen before, and they're trying to do what they were seeking. And even John McAfee, we'll watch a video. He was an entertainer. Yes, he was a computer genius. Yes, he was a businessman, but he was also an entertainer. Here's something else I think is really interesting. This is President Trump awarding the Kennedy Center honors, and Gene Simmons is one of them. Listen to what he says.
That's a great idea. My friend for a long time.
Thank you, Mr.
That's good. Thank you very much. That's a great idea. My friend for a long time. My friend for a long time. My friend for a long time.
Says, thank you. Looks great on you. You've been a friend for a long time. Friend for a long time. That's no secret. It is also no secret that President Trump and the Trump family, especially the boys, I've been in the room with the boys a time or two, Don Trump Jr. and Eric Trump. I think I was in the room with Eric Trump once at a thing in Vegas. And it's no secret the Trump family, they are big into crypto, especially with World Liberty Finance. So when you've got Gene Simmons coming out, he's one of the best businessmen in history, but also the best performers in history. And you've got him talking like this,
64,000 or so, and I'm the ride up to 64,000 or so, and I'm what's called
we'll go back to where
Bitcoin when it was around 10,000.
I got into my Bitcoin around 2000. That's one thing the DAG has on the Gene Simmons. I was in around 2000, but I'm sure he bought a crap ton more than me.
I loved the ride up to 64,000 or so. And I'm what's called a hodler, HODLER.
And I learned yesterday that it actually stands for hold on for dear life, and I didn't know that. But yeah, I'm a hodler too.
Those great unwashed masses who may not be educated, you have an inferred fiduciary duty to yourself. See, I'm using grown-up language to find out. And in your
I love what he just said. You have a fiduciary duty to yourself to find out. So we're going to stop it here. Anybody can go watch this. And we actually have to get going here because the digital asset guy has got to go somewhere, and everybody says my videos are too long. So I've started doing them when I'm rushed and I can't take too long. So I just wanted to talk about this point, and also, real quick before we go, John McAfee, he was one of the most entertaining people. Let's just watch this one. Look at this.
In Belize. I had friends in the U.S. Embassy in Belize. I knew what was coming down. I'm not stupid. I had arranged with the head of security. I was going to come in. He said, "Sir, we have it from the highest authority."
That's all we need to hear. Every single time this guy is on the screen, I am entertained and I'm also educated. I was a huge John McAfee fan. I miss John McAfee. I think this man was a genius. I think he was a genius businessman, a genius educator, a genius software engineer or whatever he did. And I think he was a performer. I think he was hilarious. I think he was shocking. I think he was controversial. And I just think he did a lot of good in the world. Yeah, things got a little crazy there at the end. Nobody really knows. In fact, it would not surprise me if he wasn't actually gone. But that's another video. But I just wanted to leave you with this thought. Gene Simmons and Kiss, they made the band they didn't see. Him and Paul Simon. And Gene Simmons was big into Cardano. Rockstar and entrepreneur makes big investment in Cardano. Gene Simmons made a very big investment in Cardano, after which he tweeted to his followers why he thinks the coin has potential. I'm a big fan of Cardano as well. And right now, in this little bear market that we're experiencing, Cardano is actually looking really good to the digital asset guy. Where did it go? Well, they only let you look at a couple cryptos, but anyway, you can find it on there. But I believe we're down under 15 cents right now on Cardano. And Cardano's been as high as $3. So that's like a built-in over 20x right there if we just get back to all-time high. Gotta go. The digital asset guys got to get out of here and go somewhere trying to make these videos shorter. Thank you so much for tuning in. Please hit the like button. Please make sure you're subscribed. And please share this with anyone who you think it might entertain or also educate. And when you watch my videos, my shorts with the DAG After Dark and Digital Asset Guy doing the street interviews, please comment your thoughts. I would love to know. Thank you so much. Digital Asset Guy out.